the 2019 gubernatorial election approaches, Citizen Information Network brings you the campaign promises of some of the governorship candidates in Lagos State. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, candidate of the All Progressive Congress. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu was born in 1965. He is the 2019 Lagos State gubernatorial election candidate for the All Progressive Congress. His campaign promises are construction of Agboyi Bridge in Koshofel local government, provide quality and affordable education for children from basic school to tertiary institution, increase the number of primary health centers, and also strengthen them so that more people can have access to quality health care. Jimmy Agbaje, candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Olujimi Kolawole Agbaje, popularly known as Jimmy Agbaje, born March 2nd, 1957, is a Nigerian pharmacist and candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2019 governorship election in Lagos State. His campaign promises include to invest as much as 50% of the state's budget on an education economy, which implies investing in the whole value chain related to education, from the physical infrastructure that facilitates training to skills development, competence building, and knowledge management, targeting a minimum of 1,000 megawatts of electricity in 4 years to muzzle up and boost the economic fortune of the people. Healthcare program built around health insurance schemes. Babatunde Gbadamosi, candidate of the ADP. The candidate of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, Babatunde Olalere Gbadamosi, popularly called BOG, was born in England, and his campaign promises include to build 10,000 housing units for each year of his 4-year term, to review public sector pay if elected as governor, to order large high-volume roll-off ferries to take passengers off roads and onto the waterways. Citizen Information Network will bring you live updates on the governorship election scheduled to hold this Saturday, 9th of March 2019. Follow us on our social media handles on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter at CIN Niger. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at CIN Niger and also log on to our website www.cinnigeria.com/live. As the 2019 gubernatorial election approaches, Citizen Information Network brings you the campaign promises of some of the governorship candidates in Kano State. Abba Yusuf, candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Alhaji Abba Kabir Yusuf is the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Kano State's 2019 gubernatorial election. Below are some of his campaign promises: to restore Kano State as the industrial hub of the nation, an all-inclusive government that will be based on open door policy, to provide free basic health care services, transportation equipment, and strengthen anti-begging policy. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, candidate of the All Progressive Congress. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje was born in 1949. He is the incumbent governor of Kano State and candidate of the All Progressive Congress in the 2019 gubernatorial election. His campaign promises are more economic empowerment of women across the state, improve agriculture by reinvigorating fertilizer plants, improve peace and awareness across the state. Malam Sejir Take, candidate of the People's Redemption Party. Malam Sejir Take is the candidate of the People's Redemption Party in the 2019 Kano State gubernatorial polls. His campaign promises include to form a unity government that will ensure rapid development of Kano State and its people, to to come up with programs and policies that would improve the lot of the common man, to collaborate with other stakeholders to tackle insecurity challenges. Citizen Information Network will bring you live updates on the governorship election scheduled to hold this Saturday, 9th of March 2019. Follow us on our social media handles on Instagram, Facebook and on Twitter at CIA Niger. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at CIA Niger or log on to our website www.cianigeria.com/live. As the 2019 gubernatorial election approaches, Citizen Information Network brings you the campaign promises of some of the governorship candidates in Kwara State. Razak Atunwa, candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Razak Atunwa, born in October 1969, is the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2019 Kwara State gubernatorial election. His campaign promises include to put the interest of Kwara people first, to improve infrastructure in the state, provision of education and healthcare. Abdurazak Abdurrahman, candidate of the All Progressive Congress. Oil magnate Abdurazak Abdurrahman is the candidate of the All Progressive Congress for the 2019 Kwara State gubernatorial election. His campaign promises are to alleviate poverty and improve the standard of living of the people, to harness the human and material resources which are in abundance in the state, to provide security and create jobs for the youth. Citizen Information Network will bring you live updates on the governorship election scheduled to hold this Saturday, 9th of March 2019. Follow us on our social media handles on Instagram, Facebook and on Twitter at CIA Niger. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at CIA Niger or log on to our website www.cianigeria.com. As the 2019 gubernatorial election approaches, Citizen Information Network brings you the campaign promises of some of the governorship candidates in Kaduna State. Malam Nasir El-Rufai, candidate of the All Progressive Congress. Malam Nasir El-Rufai was born in February 1960. He is the incumbent governor and candidate of the All Progressive Congress in the 2019 governorship election in Kaduna State. His campaign promises include to undertake difficult reforms in the public service, in education and in health, empowering the youth and women in order not to create dependence, to double internally generated revenue without increasing tax rates. Muhammad Isa Ashiru, candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Muhammad Isa Ashiru Kudan, born in October 1962 in Kudan local government of Kaduna State, is the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the forthcoming governorship election in Kaduna State. His campaign promises are to provide quality and inclusive governance if voted into office, to review cases of those who were wrongly sacked accordingly, and reuniting the people of Kaduna State. Citizen Information Network will bring you live updates on the governorship election scheduled to hold this Saturday, 9th of March 2019. Follow us on our social media handles on Instagram, Facebook and on Twitter at CIA Niger. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at CIA Niger or log on to our website www.CIA.
All right, welcome and thank you very much for staying tuned to Citizen Information Network. We want to thank you once again for joining us for the live coverage of the state election, talking about the governorship election and the State House of Assembly. that is happening across 29 states in Nigeria. Yes, of course, the election will not hold in 7 states, namely Kogi, Osun, Ekiti, Anambra, Ondo, Edo, and Bayelsa State. But of course, in 29 states across the country, the election has begun. And of course, we have our correspondents who are in different locations to bring us live updates. My name is Tweetwea. We sincerely want to thank you for staying with us through the presidential coverage and of course for being our guest during the presidential coverage. We can assure you that this is going to be highly informative as we shall take a look into the economy of different states, all the states across the country. We shall bring up, talk about their debt profile, and of course the internally generated revenue in this state, the federal allocations to the state, and a lot more about how well these states are doing in terms of education, number of out-of-school children, and even the universal basic education. So, of course, I'm not on set alone today. I have Raphael Uwaneri Pando. Usually we were here together for the presidential election, and of course, now again we have to do this, is the governorship election. Yeah,
good morning, Twitwi. Good morning, Lagos, and of course, to our viewers in the world, I say very good morning to all of you. It's nice to be here again today.
Yes, and of course, thank you very much for staying with us. Do not forget that this coverage, you will also be part of the coverage because we would like to hear from you, like to see update for you, even situation report about what did happen for your own locality. So you will send us a message to our WhatsApp number, will be 08065350713. Okay, that's our WhatsApp number. We'll make the phone number, the studio number, they open later on, much later during the program. And of course, if you join us live for YouTube now or for our website, wherever you watch us. So thank you very much, and don't forget to drop your comments also. So quickly, before we go into the states and talk about what did happen and bring you footages from Kwara State, Imo State, Rivers State, Kaduna, Kano, and of course Lagos State. This are the 6 states then where our focus there on, and even Sokoto State, we get correspondent there. And we are Citizen Information Network. Our sole mission now to do it, now to bridge the information gap, by bringing the opinion of the masses on the street to public attention. There is a very wide gap between the government and the governed, and this is not good for development. This is why Citizen Information Network, CIN, we are here to bridge that particular gap, and that is why we would like to hear from you. What did they happen for your area? Give us images, mention the location, mention what did they happen for there, and send to us for WhatsApp. The number again is 08065350713. And for those who don't know already, say we announced we will start this broadcast by 8 o'clock, and you not see us by 8 o'clock. Seriously, the problem we did Nigeria night before us will be witness. Number one, you know the problem. NEPA first give us big generator self mad. You know as they go. So now that thing make all of us confused here. We dey run up and dances. But good say we dey live now. And thank you very much for staying tuned to us. Now, let's just take a look quickly at the aftermath of the presidential election. The candidate of the People's Democratic Party don't talk repeatedly that they are going to court, and they don't set up a legal team already as we speak. And a judgment don't go in their favor, to make sure, say, they definitely get access to materials and all of the rest. And quickly, in case you do not know, the result for the presidential election, the APC get 15 million votes, while the PDP gets 11 million votes. That's the major difference of 3.9 million votes for that particular election. And of course, joy for the APC, but definitely the PDP still complain. They raise a lot of issues concerning the voting pattern and everything will happen, especially for what they consider the PDP stronghold. We hope to see any difference today for the election.
Yes, there will be lots of difference in today's election, and one of the reasons why we might have, I use the word might, have a low turnout of today's election. It's security issue that being experienced in the last presidential election, and secondly, most people just feel they don't have a stake, coming from the state they they are residing. For example, a thief man in Lagos or an Hausa man in Lagos or an Igbo man in Lagos, you know, might feel, oh, I don't have a stake. It's two brothers contesting. You know, why the presidential is different. We have people who traveled from their, you know, residence and, of course, you know, to their hometown to make sure that they cast their vote, because that is the general election. And they have candidates, you know, that are, you know, playing or you know, contesting. Now, this one, we had a meeting or an interview with the INEC, what's it called, voters,
the director of
voter education in Lagos, and she assured us, you know, that the commission, they are actually working with the security agents, you know, to see that security is provided and people safety is top ultimate. But what's it called now? We got on the street, the reactions on the street were like, most of them are not going to come out, and the reason is they can't come and kill themselves. But, you know, in as much as we try convincing these people, the fears are still there. Security challenges. Who is going to protect us? If presidential election went this way, how is the governorship election is going to be? But don't forget that governorship is the grassroots players. You know, so there's so much at stake in Lagos State.
All right, then talking about so much at stake, also we feel we'll let you know already that in this presidential election, we experienced so many different standing for during the presidential election. Shocking things then happen. For like Kwara State, for example, the Senate president lost the election to the APC candidate, and of course, for the very first time, President Muhammadu Buhari won in Nasarawa State. Even though that Nasarawa State, big issue there, because about 150,000 votes there, now they cancel, talking about registered voters there. But now, one of the big issue about the presidential election again, Pando don't start to mention the insecurity issue. And recently, we don't see footages from Rivers State, where even the Nigerian Army don't say they will look into that, where the army invade the house of Commissioner for Education for Rivers State. Relating, say, the security concern, because it is understood that, and it is even expected that INEC should be in charge of security.
Yes.
But then again, INEC is not a security agency.
Yes.
So INEC has to work with the security agency in partnership. But the question has been raised as that
the security, there will be improvements in terms of security, because going by the meeting held by INEC and the stakeholders, which is the security agents, media, personnel, and all of that, you know, the Inspector General of Police acting, you know, assured Nigerians that there was not going to be, you know, snatching of ballot boxes in this governorship stroke state assembly election, and that those who think that the Nigerian police are weak, you know, will have themselves to blame. He reiterated that fact. So we hope and we believe, you know, that this is going to be different, and this is going to be different, you know, that there will be peace, and the election will go, you know, the way that the people want. So I was saying, you know, the security agents, they need, you know, they really do need, you know, to do some certain things. For example, armed security officers or officials are not supposed to be within the polling unit, but they should be around. You know, like the situation we saw in the presidential election, whereby, you know, you have just one police officer in some polling units, no police personnel at all. You know, so because the truth is, the man with the gun is the right man.
Yes.
You know, it just brings to me, you know, what happened, you know, way back. But the man with the gun is the right man, and once people see, you know, that there is an officer that have what is it called, that have a rifle, there will be some form of calmness, and even to the electorate, when they come out and they see that, oh, okay, we have policemen on ground, you know, this will build their confidence and make them, you know, go and canvass and, you know, ask their neighbors.
But you know, talking about policemen bearing arms at polling units, let's not forget that.
Not the polling unit, they should be around. They are not supposed to be they're not supposed to be anywhere close to the polling unit with arms.
Yeah, but you know, one of the things, the issues raised during the presidential elections, the case that security men were not even seen around, apart from the policeman who is detailed to be at the polling unit,
Yes.
who is not armed, and as stated by the guideline, and due to complaints by Nigerians before now, they are not supposed to be armed. But now, aside being armed, those who are armed, who are meant to be on patrol.
Yes.
Because one of the issues we have to look at again is the police personnel. Is it sufficient? Is it enough? Because if we look at, if we just look at deployment of police, we'll discover that while some states, like Adamawa State, got 5,000 policemen deployed to Adamawa State. And let's not forget that Adamawa State is prone to attack by insurgents. But now, if you take away 5,000 in Adamawa, deployed to Adamawa State, now you look at River State, over 15,000 policemen deployed. We are talking about police personnel. We've not talked about the military men deployed. But then, even with all of this, we still witness violence in River State, in places in Lagos, and even Nasarawa State and across the country. But one of the things people have been talking about is that how do we really curb this SS? How do we ensure that the patrol team of the police will be readily available when there are issues? Because if they are not invited, they don't get to go to any polling unit.
Now, in the course of our street investigation, last week, we came in contact with a police officer who was involved in the presidential election and was beaten.
Yes.
Okota, and the guy made a valid suggestion, and I think that suggestion, would really hold water. He said, see, the reason why they have issues, of violence in some certain polling units is because these polling units are in rural areas. For example, Okota, there's a particular polling unit 007, that had issues. The road to that place is so bad that normally from the major express to that place it should be less than 2 minutes drive, but because of the bad road, the nature of the road, it will take you close to 20 minutes to get there. So the guy suggested that, see, bring all the polling units or all the polling units to the major express.
Okay.
Let people come out. So there will be ease of flow, security personnel, vehicular movement. And this would help curb, most of these problems, that we had in the presidential election. And I think that's a good suggestion, But again, you need to now consider the aged ones who can't really walk such distance, some certain distance and this would now discourage some other people from going out. Some people just like the polling unit to be at their backyard. So you just go down and cast their votes.
All right, you're still watching Citizen Information Network, and of course, this is a live coverage of the state election, talking about the governorship election and House of Assembly. As we've informed you before now, election will only take place. It's ongoing already in 29 states of the country, including the FCT. In the Federal Capital Territory, there will be election into the local government area. They're talking about the councillors and, of course, the chairmanship election in the FCT. But in the other 29 states, it will definitely be for the governors and the member of the House of Assembly. But 7 states will not take part in this election, namely Kogi, Osun, Ekiti, Anambra, Ondo, Edo, and Bayelsa State. And of course, one important thing we would like to share with you is that during the course of this coverage, we will bring information about the debt profile of these states, how well they are doing, their internally generated revenue, their budget for education, number of out-of-school children, because the state election is very important. No matter what the government does at the federal level, if the state governments do not put in equal effort or even much more effort into developing the state, we still have an economy that will not grow, because economy is usually built at the state level. It's all about welfare, providing amenities, infrastructures at the state level. And with all of this in place, it becomes easier to do business and to even move around in the country. And that is why we want to take a close look at what the state governments are doing at the moment. And of course, we told you earlier on that if the 6 states will be focusing on for this coverage is Imo State, Rivers State, Lagos State, Kwara State, Kaduna, and Kano State. Of course, we have correspondents in Sokoto, but our main focus will be all of these states. So just stay with us as we continue with this. Now, if we have to look at another issue at the moment is the PDP presidential election. They decided to challenge the result in court. Now, a court judgment came out that stated that INEC, the Independent Electoral Commission, should allow the PDP access to materials, result sheets, and all of these results from across all the states. And as we speak at the moment, that is not even available. Is that really something of concern? It
has to be a very big concern. As a matter of fact, it's a very big concern because these are the materials that the People's Democratic Party are going to use to make their case. Yes. Now, it will not pose a very big question. If you don't have these materials, how did you come about these numbers? Because there's something about archiving. There's something called archiving. And I believe INEC do not dispose their material immediately after election, not even 2 weeks after election. Because, you know, there might be, you know, cases of contesting the results. So if they are having issues about material, then that's a big case, you know, that would go in favor of the PDP, because there will be questions of how did you come about this result? If you don't have these materials, how did you, you know, arrive at XYZ result? So it's surprising that INEC is saying they don't have those materials available, but I am sure what's it called now? The team that's been put together by
of course the APC will also put up a team to defend. Yes. Let's not forget that President Muhammadu Buhari has contested the election result 3 times before he was declared winner in 2015. He contested the results of the 2003 election, 2007, and even that of the 2011.
And don't forget that materials too were provided for him.
Yes.
So that is different. You know, we're having it.
No, but it's not that they are not going to provide it, but at the moment it's not available. You know. Well, one of the things we've mentioned it earlier that court have granted that they should allow PDP access to these materials. Now, quickly, let's just inform you that generally we have 84 million registered voters in the country and 72 million collected PVCs with 11.2 million uncollected PVCs. Now, during the presidential election, we saw very poor turnout of voters. In Lagos State, we have 5.5 million collected PVC, and the total vote recorded in Lagos State is less than 1.5 million, and that is very poor. Now, when you look at Kano State, the same thing happened in Kano, with Kano has over 4 million collected PVCs in the state, and yet the total result out of Kano is less than 2 million. So this worrisome. It's very worrisome because now that was for the presidential election. Now, if we look at the governorship election, states like Ekiti, Osun, and even Ondo and Edo and the Anambra, Kogi, that will not be they definitely will not have their governorship election today, but they have an election into the State House of Assembly. So should we expect that more people will come out for this election, or we should expect low turnout again?
Now, we expect low turnout, and I'll give you the factors, you know, why we will expect low turnout in some certain states. Do not forget that presently the way the Independent National Electoral Commission, you know, conducts our election is that you have to vote in the polling units that you are registered.
Yes.
And don't forget that so many people traveled, you know, to these different states to participate in the presidential election. And most of these people are back to the state. Now, this is what happened. In the presidential election, there's so much at stake because it's the presidential election. Now, they are back in the state that are being governed. They're not resided in their states.
Yeah.
So, indirectly or directly, they are not affected by the decision that is taken in those particular states. Now they are back in states where they are resided, and voila, they are not going to participate in the election because they are not at their polling unit of their state where they registered.
Yeah, where they
so
registered.
This is a factor. Two, security issues that we've earlier raised. So many people still have that fear, especially in polling units that have, that those incidents happened. You will have way low turnout. So I don't know how this is going to play out, but I see a low turnout in today's election.
All right, you're still watching Citizen Information Network, and of course, this is still a live coverage of the governorship election and state House of Assembly, and of course, we can tell you right now that voting is ongoing, and of course, accreditation and voting is taking place simultaneously across the 29 states in the country. Of course, do not forget that election is happening in all 36 states. Yes, including the FCT. But for 7 states, there will be no governorship election. That is not to say there won't be election into the state House of Assembly. Okay, and let's not forget also that a supplementary election also for will take place in at some polling units where they experience disruption during the presidential, and this is also to finally decide the result for some state House of Representative election, and of course that of Senate. Okay, now we will definitely let's start with our focus now, as we want to focus on the states, the 6 states that I want to focus on for the election today, the coverage. And of course, we want to look at how well this state has performed over the years and what Nigerians should expect from the state. Because it's very important for you to know, say, as you go at one go vote, or you don't vote already, you're supposed to know some information about the state so that you know what to expect at the end of the day. Because you're surprised to know, say, most states for Nigeria now Nigbese states. Yes, most of the states, they big basic. Of course, so we'll start, take the first state now and tell you, maybe we'll take a look at Imo State now, because Imo State, now one very interesting state. Let's not forget the drama going on in Imo State. And there you have it. That now the total number of registered voters for Imo State, 2.2 million. And of course, the number of collected PVC and uncollected PVC for the states. The result from Imo State for the governorship or the presidential election, also low turnout for the presidential election too. But one thing will be very important now about Imo State, now the fact that the governor of the state, now member of APC, in the canvass support for another political party for the governorship and the state election. That now the Action Alliance, the AA, the party where the in-law of the governor Nwosu be the governorship candidate. Now, in Imo State, we'll look at now PDP again get their own candidate. Not forgetting that the candidate of the PDP for Imo State is the same person that contested against Rochas Okorocha in the 2015 election. And now we have so many political parties. We have YPP also contesting the election. So, should we expect that the results from the governorship election in Imo State will go the same way as the presidential election? Or we will expect a difference?
It will not go the same way the presidential election went. Yeah. And the reason is because they are different
just
factors.
A minute now. That is the presidential election result on the screen. We definitely know that we'll take down the social media so you can get to see registered voters and total valid votes. Okay, but that is the result for APC and PDP for the presidential election in Imo State this 2019. So USA.
Yes. Now, if you look at the way the results went, the People Democratic Party actually won, the states.
Yes.
By a whooping margin of 220 something or about 190 something thousand, and it's going to go the same way. Now, this is the reason why it will go that way. One, there's already chaos in the camp of the APC, where the sitting governor Rochas Okorocha is not in support of the candidate that its party APC have.
That's,
Hence, he's pitching camp.
Senator
Opuzodima. Hence, he's pitching camp with his son-in-law, you know,
Henry Wilson of the AAC.
Now, this is a big problem because, one, the APC have their supporters. Rochas have his own supporters. So Rochas would share the votes from the APC. Do not forget that 2 weeks ago's election, the presidential election, there was nothing at stake. Yes. He was contesting under the platform of the APC. So his supporters will still, you know, vote for the All Progressive Congress party. Now he's moving, supporting the what's it called now? Alliance party. So this Action Alliance. Now this will cause a big difference. Now the PDP, they don't have anything at stake. For example, when I say anything, I say like they don't have any chaos in their camp. No division in the camp. So the same result that played out in Imo State in the presidential election. Let's just see. Now the 140,436 votes that the APC have obviously will be reduced by this number because some of the people that voted in this.
But let's look at it from another. I think it's possible that the votes might increase because during the presidential election, it could also be a case of, the running mate of the PDP is an Igbo man from the southeast. So don't you think that could also be a factor why the PDP got that much votes in Imo State? But in this case, all the candidates for the governorship election, they are from the state.
Yes.
So it's not a case of it's not from Imo or this, or it's not our son or the other. So don't you think that might also be a factor that will play out and even swing the votes in any direction, maybe even the direction of the AA?
I would disagree with that, and the reason why I would disagree with that is this: who is the person contesting under the flagship of PDP? He's still the son of the soil.
Yes.
Do you understand? So the same thing that was at stake in the presidential election is the same thing that is being at stake, that will still be at stake in the governorship election. Do you understand? So now the problem with the APC is that they are going to share the votes because Rochas Okorocha would move his own supporters to support the AA party, while Hope Uzodinma and the APC would still try to canvass and make sure that they gather some votes from their own supporters of the APC. So that's going to be a major problem because right now in the camp of the PDP, there is no chaos, there's no rift between any of them.
All right, so there you have it, the presidential election result from Imo State. APC 140,000 votes, the PDP 334,000 votes, and of course the result for AAC, ACPN, ANN, and of course YPP. Total vote cast in that particular election 540,777, and this is not so encouraging because if we look at Imo State, in Imo State they have about 1.7 million collected PVCs. Yes, and you want to ask yourself, why would people collect PVC and not come out to vote? Presidential election. Maybe some of them are so concerned, and maybe another factor would be the fact that that region, the southeast region, is a region where IPOB is canvassing against participating in the electoral process. But aside that now, let's look at another issue from Imo State because it will be very interesting to know. Now, let's look at the depth profile of Imo State now. Let's look at the depth profile of Imo State. We'll look at what is the depth of Imo State, foreign and domestic depth, so that if you go from Imo State, you know already now the kind of base where your state gets, and waiting the next whoever will take over. Because Russia is not the contest again. Whoever will take over, will expect. And we'll look at the number of out-of-school children that were there for Imo State, we're not there school, and even the southeast in general. So we'll bring that up for you, but we can tell you definitely that it's not encouraging, because if we look at Rochas Okorocha is one individual that has prided himself in education, talking about building free educations. Before he came into government, he was involved in education. He has schools built across the country, in about 5 states in the country, where people get access to education, and even some of them on scholarship. So one expected that becoming the governor of Imo State would simply mean that the education in Imo State will at least be a lot better, if not the best in the country. But as we can tell you that at the moment in Imo State, we still have some children who should be in school who are not in school at the moment, and we'll bring all of that data for you to see. Talking about out of school children in Imo State, the debt profile of Imo State, the internally generated revenue. But before we do that, we have Ayodeji, Femi Ayodeji, our correspondent in Alimosho local government here in Lagos State. Hello, Femi. Hello. Hello, Ayodeji. Are you there? Okay, the network, I think we have a little challenge there. We'll try to get back to Ayodeji and get to know the situation of things in Alimosho. But before that, as I was saying, that we really have to take a look at this, the internally generated revenue in Imo State and the federal allocation to the state. The number, most importantly, children who should be in school that are not in school. You'll be surprised that we have this all across the country. And it will surprise you to know that even Lagos State, with so much money to spend, still suffers this. There you have it. That is the budget for Imo State. Now, if you look at the internally generated revenue in Imo State, it increased over the years from 2016 from 5.8 billion to 6.8 billion in 2017. And then, as at the first half of 2018, that is 6 months into 2018, January to June, they generated 7 billion already. So if we go by the figure from the first half, that means it is possible they generated well over 10 billion as IGR for 2018. That is very possible. And that is good development. But now, if we look at the federal allocation, not so well. Now, let's take a close look at 2016. What you discover for 2016 is that Imo State ran 2016 budget
on federal allocation.
You know, on deficit. That means the state get base and they get big base as with the year. So we'll bring that, the debt of the state, both of local and foreign debt, to you, so you get to see. But then, should we applaud Russia Sokorosha for the IGR in the state, the growth?
Yes, I think the growth deserves, to be talked about, and it means they have put certain things in order to be able to generate, look into the state's wealth and see how they can muster and generate something. If you look at the difference between 2016 and 2018 and 2016, we are talking about well over 3-point-something billion.
Yeah. And
that's a huge success for a state that is strictly civil service state. You understand? So I think there is something he's doing right, and for a consistent growth, for the 3 years in question, I think he needs an applaudment.
Yeah, because why we have to talk about this is because we know already that it's becoming, most states in Nigeria are not self-sufficient because they cannot really fund their budget from within. So every state, all the states in the federation, every year will have to borrow either locally or from foreign or financiers to at least fund the budget. But one of the things that is very important is that we've all agreed that one way to get out of this is to ensure that we have where internally generated revenue in this state growing. So, of course, for Imo State, this is why it's very important for us to talk about it. That it's a very good difference that the states would make that much money within that period. Talking about the growth from 2016 IGR to, of course, 2017. We know also that for the federal allocation to these states, there is no way that the federal allocation to this state, it's always determined by the income generated from VAT and all of the rest, and even oil revenue and all the rest. So it's not really that reliable. It's not something that these states can really depend on.
It's not consistent.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the flow, it dropped in 2017. It dropped rapidly. then picked up again in 2018.
Yeah.
Now, you don't build a house or you don't go about collecting debt because you're hoping to get money from somewhere. You know, that's a mistake most of these states are making. You know, they overshoot their budgets, then start borrowing at the expense of the state. So at the end of the day, by the time you generate and combine what you get from the federal the federal allocation, it will not match what you've spent or what you've borrowed. Don't not forget that when you borrow, you will service your loan.
Yes.
There will be interest, great interest, you know, paid. And these are the problems, because it's like states are spending more than what they need.
Okay, talking about spending more than what they need, do not forget that, of course, we saw a very huge improvement in the IGR of Imo State in 2018. We do not know what the figure will be yet for 2019. Of course, it's very early to tell. But one of the things we know definitely is that politicians do relax when it's election comes knocking, because they want to appeal to everybody. They don't want people to feel bad. They want people to come chanting their praises and all of that. So sometimes they relax the law when it comes to taxes and even IGR. Well, we'll just only time will tell. We'll get to see how that unfolds. But for now, we'll take a look at the debt profile of Imo State also. What is the debt? What will be the BC where Imo State get at the moment now? You know, we go look at this, and of course, when we look at this, we'll definitely during the course reach out to our correspondent with it for different part of the country at the moment now for us to speak with them. All right, now we get Ayodeji on the line now. Hello, Ayodeji.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing today? Limosho.
Well, I'm currently standing at the collation center in Isheri, Egbejimu local government, Egbejimu local council development area.
Okay.
And I'm giving reports that the collation center also serves as a polling unit. We're having about 6 polling units at the collation center. And I want to report that everything has been going on peacefully. We have men, we have officers to security agents here to ensure that everything goes on well. And also standing here with me is a local observer, a domestic observer from the INEC. He's here to give us reports of this thing so far.
Okay, let's hear from the domestic observer. Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Please.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. This is Citizen Information Network. You are live now on our YouTube page and, of course, on our website, and everybody can hear you. Please, may we know your name, sir?
My name is Godwin Enenchukwu. My neck observer, woman arrived. In this collection center, things are moving fine. There is no problem, but we have low turn up.
Wow.
Yes, people are not coming. They are coming small. I don't know the reason, but we believe God that everything will go well.
Okay, about security, what will be the security situation where you don't observe so far? Where you don't see?
It's not only this place. So we started from the other small units, and we come to the collection center to know what is happening.